Yo, what is up? Jacob here, and today I have a very exciting tutorial for you. So recently I'm started working on Upwork with our agency Selfmade, and we got some projects regarding Amazon MWS, which I'm going to show you just in a second. But if you know what is it, in this video we'll cover Amazon MWS API. We'll use the order API. So if you are a seller from Amazon, we'll export your orders from Amazon, and we will update the Google spreadsheet with them. And basically the whole script will work in the way that once you got your daily reports, if you run the script one more time, basically all of the new orders will be appended in the bottom of the spreadsheet, so you can collect your orders from the past. Let me actually show you the documentation and all of the libraries which will go into work in this video. Alright guys, so now first of all, the Amazon MWS. Right, as you can see here, Amazon MWS. So their API is very old. Basically, it returns the request in XML, but there's some Python wrapper, the library which I'll show you just in a second, which basically parse those requests so we are able to actually use it and get a nice data. So as you can see here, there's a few different APIs. The one which we actually will focus today is the order API, the orders API. Okay. So if you click about it, you have all of the nice information about it. I highly recommend you to read about it. Then you'll understand what is the purpose of each of those endpoints and what is, for example, next token. Okay, so I won't actually spend that much time here. Let me go to the next page. If you're the Amazon seller, and you want to hire a developer, or you want to build some tool for yourself, you have also nice documentation here, right? As about registering to use the Amazon MWS. So for example, here you can register a developer, and once you register a developer, you'll have a few different credentials like this. So the developer ID, AWS access key, and a secret key. And in this video, I already have all of them, and I will be using them. And yeah, without it, unfortunately, you can't really follow this tutorial, and this is why this video is also like for niche. Like, it's a super niche. And yeah, let's follow. Let's jump to the next part. So the next thing is the wrapper, the Python wrapper, which I was talking about, the MWS Python framework library. Sorry. Right, so you have a little bit of documentation here. So for example, I would set up the API access, so on. They walk you through how to install it. So pip install MWS, we'll go over it in an actual tutorial section. But as you can see, it's not the best documentation. So to be honest, I was just going to the source code and understanding this by myself. And this is why I decided to build this tutorial for you. So the next library which we're going to use is a JSprit. So basically this library will allow you to connect to the Google Sheets with Python. So once we pull the data from Amazon, we're going to parse it a little bit. We're going to do maybe some calculations with this, and then we're going to access the Google Sheet and append the data to actual sheet. Okay. The next thing, and of course you have a lot of nice documentation here how to use it. As you can see, I was walking through it. Yeah. Okay, the next thing is the GCP, so the Google Cloud Platform. We need to actually register the new IAM user in this. So in my case is this mail. We'll use this mail to actually create the file, the spreadsheet, and we have to invite this person as a owner or just editor, I believe. So I just created this account, and also for this account, you have to download the credentials. There's a lot of different tutorials how to do it, but yeah, I'm just mentioning this right now. You have to also enable Google Drive API for this user and Google Sheet API. And in this whole thing, in the end, you should create the actual spreadsheet. So let me show you first the result. Okay, so this is the result which we will have. Obviously, the data here is blurred because I'm not allowed to show you this data, but some things is okay to show. But yeah, let's create our own spreadsheet from scratch. So we're going to create the new spreadsheet, the Google Sheet. Okay, let's call it, I will call it YouTube Amazon. We can also change it, the name here in the left corner for Amazon. And from here, what you need to do is, first of all, when you have this IAM user, this is my IAM user, you have to copy the mail and you have to share it with you. So here, boom, I'm sharing this with my mail. As an editor, I don't have to notify it, just share. So with this, you have the access to actual spreadsheet, so you can do whatever you want from Python level. And the next thing is the ID, which will take just in a moment. This is the ID and the URL, but yeah, as I said, just in a moment. Okay guys, so let's jump to the actual code. Let's build the whole thing. So first of all, let's create the .env file with the credentials and open it in and open the whole directory in your favorite editor. In my case, it will be Visual Studio Code in this video instead of PyCharm, as I'm always using. Alright guys, so this is the .env file. Obviously, I won't share my MWS credentials with you, but you have to put them instead of those X's. And when it comes to Google Sheet key, this is what we have to copy. So here after the D, after slash and before edit, you're going to copy it and paste it here. Cool. Let's create the file, script.py. Alright, so also let's do and install the virtual environment. So I'm going to type pipenv install. If you don't have pipenv, just install it with, I believe, with brew on a MacBook, and just with sudo apt-get on a Linux like Ubuntu. And yeah, just Google it. I'm pretty sure you'll make it. All right, so pipenv shell. And we can also activate it. And here I have Amazon MWS. Boom. Let's install the pylint. Okay, and for the pip file, I'll just copy all of the dependencies which we need. So this is the pipenv. So this is the pip file which we need. We need from libraries MWS, gspread, OAuth to client, python.env, python date util, and yeah, you'll be fine with those libraries. So let me just type pipenv install. So it will automatically install all of the requirements from the pip file and put them into pip file log. Alright guys, so the next file which we're going to create is const.py, and in this file I'll put all of the const values which we're going to use in a script.py later on. Alright guys, so let me explain what do we have in here, right? So this is pretty simple, credentials plus Google Sheet key, which I showed you from here. We're going to use the OS environ, so once you have it in your path as an environment variable, this will also work when you put it on a server, for example, right? Then we have Amazon Marketplace IDs. Those are values you can get from the documentation, and again, they are constant. They are from documentation, just put it there. You just take them from there, right? Then I created a variable from them. Order status, so I will skip the pending orders because they are quite tricky and you don't really have information from them. So we'll just focus on unshipped, shipped, and partially shipped. This is our name of the sheet, right? So here, Amazon. And those are the columns, so those are the values which we'll be extracting, which you saw in the beginning from the example. And I'll put them also to the columns variable. All right, let's code the script. Okay guys, so I just sorted the imports, so they are right now correct. And basically we will build 3 classes. First one, Google Sheets, so this class will be responsible for the connection to the actual spreadsheet. Then Amazon Orders, this will be responsible for Orders API, so the Amazon MWS, and Amazon Script, Amazon Script. Yep, this class we will use for the main logic, and then in the main like an Amazon script will have some parsing logic and getting the orders from Amazon orders, putting data to Google Sheets and so on, and we'll execute it in the main. So this is like main, so Amazon script is for main logic. Yeah, let's code the whole thing now. Alright guys, so this is the first class, and I decided to just code the whole thing and describe it to you a little bit how it works, right? So in the init function of this class, as arguments, we take credentials file. So this is the JSON file which you get from the Google, from the GCP, okay? I'll just give you the example right now. Alright guys, so I just changed some data, so you can't really hack me. But yeah, this is how the file looks like, just for your information. So yeah, we got this credential file, the sheet key, the sheet key, which are basically, again, this thing here, and variables, the worksheet name, which is the Amazon. Yeah, well, like we will declare this object of this class later on. Just now let me describe the whole thing for you. Right, so yeah, assign those things. Now a scope is very important, so those are kind of like the permissions which we give ourselves here, which we give actually the program to have the access to the drive and have the access to the Google Sheets. Okay, the sheet object, we create the function getSheetObject, and here we are using this service account credentials from the JSON file, right, with the scope. So this is the credentials file, and then we use the this library gspread, and we use the authorization function with this variable. And in the end, we return the spreadsheet object. So we open this by the key, and we select the worksheet, which is the Amazon. Okay, now we have two helper functions. So the first one is write header if doesn't exist. So if we have the empty file like this, we'll write the first header, which are the numbers of the column, right? Append rows, basically the append rows function, we will take it to append rows in the end of the spreadsheet. So whenever we run the script one more time and we have some existing records, we can just append them from the bottom on. So we take the last row number, so we calculate how many call values are there in one column, we add 1, and then we insert the next rows from the last row number, and so on. Okay, let's get to the Amazon orders. Alright guys, let me explain the Amazon orders part. So again, this is the connector to actual MWS API. First of all, we need to assign the keys. So we just pass the keys as arguments, we assign them here, and then we build the actual MWS report here. So we have this nice Python wrapper MWS which we installed. And if we actually click here, you will see that this is implemented wrapper to the Amazon API, which is perfect. Okay, so you return it here as an object, so we have access to it from all of the places. But basically, the most important function is the get orders. So this function. So we list the orders, and very important thing is we use the last date as an argument. So whenever we'll have some orders, so for example here, right, we'll have the last order, we'll get the date from it, and then we will append the new orders after that. So we have to take it and we have to request just new orders, newer than the last report which we requested in the past. Okay, cool. So then once we get it, we parse the request. This is the default method from the library, and then we also check if there is no if there are no more reports than just one page, right? So this is what I said about documentation, the next token. So once we got the next token here in the orders, we have to iterate over it, right? So we iterate on the new pages. And also we have some, we can prevent the Amazon ban. So whenever we do too many requests, we just sleep 60 seconds. So we refresh the API limits. And here we just basically take the whole thing and append it to the empty list orders data. And in the end, we return the whole list with new orders. So now let's actually write the whole script, which will connect all of the pieces together. Alright guys, so we just finished writing our script, and now let me explain the main script, right, which we just created. And first of all, let me start with the first function, get last date. This function will help us to get the last date of the last report, right? So once we are here again, we'll just request the report from there on. Okay. But let's get to the main logic, right? So the Amazon script. So first, in the init, we create the Google Sheet object, right? So this is basically the first class, this one. And then we create the NA, which stands for North America, MWS orders. So basically the second object from the second class. Okay, we pass all of the credentials which we need, and then the whole magic happens in the run. So first, we check if there's a header, right? So let's just run the first function, which will be responsible for the header run, for the header, okay? Okay, so let me do clear Python script.py. Okay, so let's take a look, and it doesn't work. Interesting. Okay, so basically nothing happened because we didn't execute the main. Yeah, those basic errors sometimes kills me the most. All right, so again, first function, we should just include the header into our file. So let's run a Python script. Okay, and as you can see, we already have it. And now if we run it again, nothing should change, right? Again, we have just a first header, so all good. Now the next thing is we actually get the date. So if there's no date like here, we'll just request the date from last 5 days. We can do it even like 2-3 days. Doesn't really matter. Okay, and now getting the actual orders. So here we are going to use the function called getOrders from the MWS API. So we can run it and we can print it over here. So we'll get literally the object with all of the information of the orders. So let's just run it right now. As you can see here, there's a lot of data. Unfortunately, I have to blur it, but you will get a basic understanding that there's a lot of data and we can do a lot of things with this. Okay. Okay, so once we have the actual data, what we're gonna do is very important function called parse orders. Okay, so here we iterate over all of the orders from the list and we append them to the empty list, and meanwhile we are parsing them. And here, this function basically takes the data which we want from the order. Again, the parsed value from the MWS library, Python library, will give us the Python dictionaries. So we just request the values through the keys. So for example, purchase date value will give us the purchase date, order ID will give us this, and so on, right? Here, get an order email, just create this function. So if there's no email, we just return unknown. But yeah, basically very simple. Later on, we have the order dict. So basically this dictionary and the order matters, because in normal dictionary, the order doesn't matter. And we just populate the data with our variables, and in the end, we return it. So those are our parsed orders. Okay, so once we get all of the parsed orders here, we have to insert the row into the sheet, okay? So this is basically simple function here. we are actually parsing the dictionary into the list of the values. And because of order matters, we will get them in the good order, right? And then we append the row, or in this case, like append, we are appending all of the rows. So let's run everything right now. Okay, so as you can see, we populated our CSV, like our Google Sheet, with all of the data. And again, right now, if we run this script one more time, the data will be appended in the end. So let me just show it to you. If we didn't make any new sales, there's a message, no new orders. So nothing was appended. But if you run it tomorrow, data can be added. All right, guys, so that was it for this tutorial. And again, if there's something I can help you or your company with, hit us the message at contact@selfmade.dev. Thanks a lot for all of your support, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you like videos like this where there's like a certain niche and we really deep dive into the topic, because this is like this. There's no kind of videos like this on YouTube, right? Like I applied and I finished few jobs on Upwork successfully, of course, and I thought that a lot of people are actually looking for this kind of information and the Stack Overflow and so on. So I thought this short tutorial may help a lot of you guys. Yeah, thanks a lot and see you next time. Bye bye.